Our first guest is one of our favorites. He's the host of the very successful podcast, The Armchair Expert. Please welcome our friend, Dax Shepard.
How long does it take most guests to get used to Andy over your shoulder? I don't know if he's the devil or the angel. Have you figured that out?
Yeah, he's a little bit of both. First of all, I want to talk about everything that's going on right now in the country. As we tape this, this is airing later, so who knows what's happening. But I think it's important to address it because we don't know what's happening as this airs. But you and Kristen have always been open and honest about everything. Do you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, I too put out a show twice a week, and so we had a regular thing scheduled. Alanis Morissette was going to be on, and then we were, contemplating whether that was appropriate, and then deciding, well, what should we put out, and then scrambling to find someone that could help us navigate what the productive outcome of all this would be. So looking for experts that specialize in race, and and then just taking a ton of inventory personally, as I'm sure we're kind of all doing. And I have a lot of thoughts on it. We've talked about it a ton on the podcast, which is, the initial phrase white privilege kind of triggered me, because when you look at that great video of the people on the line in the race, and take a step forward if your parents were married, take a step forward if you had food security, take all these things. Well, I certainly wasn't taking a step forward for a lot of those, as were a lot of my friends growing up. And so I thought, well, I'm not advantaged. I had food insecurity, violence, stepdads, all these things. And I really missed what my privileges were. And I've come to really understand it and accept it and try to explore more and more what that means. And just, I'd say the most obvious thing is I'm super open and honest about being an addict. For years and years, I traveled around LA with drugs on my person. I bought drugs. I was drunk often. I've met hundreds of other guys in the program I'm in that are Black, and those guys went to jail. And I would have gone to jail. I would have gone to prison. There's no question about it. You can't drive through Beverly Hills and know you're not going to get pulled over if you're Black. Just recognizing like, oh, I'd have a much different life. I would have definitely spent time in prison. And then it doesn't stop there. I could have had a rough beginning and a ton of challenges, but ultimately my safety's not at risk because of it. And I can transcend it. If I go to interview at a company, it's still going to favor me. We all have challenges, but being Black is never going to be a challenge I have. And many of us will never have.
And we led into this problem and are in the problem of COVID-19, where Black and brown people were sick and dying from it at a level higher than white people. Everything is not a level playing field.
There isn't a metric that doesn't drastically punish Black folks for being Black. I work a ton with the Prostate Cancer Foundation. Black folks die of prostate cancer at twice the rate white folks do. You can just go through the list. There isn't really a metric where it's not glaringly obvious.
Yes, absolutely. That is what we are talking about on the show on a regular basis, and we don't want to stop talking about it because there's a lot of change that needs to happen in every single area. When you're talking and you're doing this, I noticed that you don't have the cast on your hand anymore. It's gone. So tell us about your accident we heard her perspective, but tell us what happened.
Yeah, so I went off-roading, and when I bring people off-roading, the very first thing I tell them, it's rookie 101, keep your hands inside the vehicle. I broke rookie rule number 1, and I broke my hand. I'd say the pain was a 4, the embarrassment was an 11. I then had to get surgery. I think she showed maybe that one of the pins came loose, so we got rid of that one, and eventually I got them all out. I think 2 weeks ago I got all the pins out, got the cast off, and I'm back in the saddle.
Good for you.
But I do a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, you're so macho. Now, was it the same hand that a seal? Didn't you get bitten by a seal?
Yeah, as earlier discussed, I used to consume drugs, and I was one time on ecstasy with a friend, Caitlin Olsen, who's on television. I won't say whether she was on anything or not. I'm just saying I was on ecstasy, and we were at a beach, and lo and behold, there was an adorable seal on the beach that had just swam up to shore, and there were a bunch of different people kind of checking the seal out. And in my state of mind, I thought, I know exactly what to do. It's just like a dog. You get it to smell your hand, and then we're going to be snuggling. I'll be scratching its belly behind the ears. And I was certain of this. And I just knew I'd be cuddling this thing on the beach. And I got closer and closer and closer, and all systems were pointing to go. And I got into that last minute, and I put my hand out, and then the seal sniffed it. And I thought, oh, here we go. And then it just went, rock, 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 and then bit my thumb twice, pretty bad, and opened it up. And then what was really funny is it was very polarizing for the bystanders. Half the people were shouting, you got what you deserved, which is true. And then the other half were going, that's how they say hello. Like, some of the people didn't want me to lose my faith in the animal.
Oh, so when you're on ecstasy and it seems like a good idea to pet a seal, and then it doesn't let you cuddle it, but bites it and opens up your. Now, is it still a pleasant experience because you're on ecstasy? And you're like, oh, blood.
100%. 100%. I would do it again if I weren't an addict.
Well, I guess we don't need to really say it, but we should. Don't try this. Don't.
Kids, if you're watching at home,
don't try ecstasy and pet a seal.
Yeah, it's rare that you can tell a story where every element should be avoided. So don't take ecstasy. Don't try to pet a seal. Or maybe go to the beach with Caitlin Olsen. That's fun. But other than that, just skip the whole thing.
Other than that, the rest of it is stuff you shouldn't do.